Today we're going to look at the NWEA Student Goal Setting Worksheet as well as some other aspects of the NWEA that can help you guide your instruction as you work with your students in order to meet their needs. My suggestion is that after you complete one of your NWEA results, it could be the one from the spring and then you look at it again in the fall, or it could be the one you do in the fall or winter or in the spring again. But basically the idea is that if you expose the students to where they are and how they're performing, it will help them get a better idea of what they need to do in order to accomplish goals that you set as well as they set, as well as it'll give them the chance to figure out where they are, because if they don't know where they are, they don't know where they need to go, and they can't see how far they need to go or how little they need to go in order to reach those goals that we set. So the first suggestion is that you're going to look at the student goal setting worksheet that you'll find in the NWEA MAP reports. If you go into class reports, and you've seen those I'm sure many times with the class breakdown, in that same area on the NWEA and you follow the instructions that we've placed on the blog, you'll see that one of them is student goal setting worksheet. You'll notice I've blacked out names so that you can't see what school it is or what student it is, but I'll tell you this is a second grade student, so the numbers correlate with second grade. And if you look at the student goal setting worksheet for this child, on the top is their math scores and on the bottom is their reading scores. As you look, you'll see that their spring of 2013 scores are listed. There's obviously nothing in the summer of 2013. In the fall, this child did not go back any in her scores. She still scored a 182. However, in the winter, she went up to 187, and we have not yet taken the spring assessment. But after the winter goal, or before we go ahead and take the spring assessment, I would sit with this student and I would say, okay, your projected RIT or RIT score is 196. Right now, the last time we took this in January, you scored a 187. What is your goal? And you see I put a smiley face right next to where it says my goal. And I would have the student come up with some sort of goal. They may say 200, they may say 250, they may say 188. The question is it realistic for that student? Many factors can play into that. What is their attendance? Do they pay attention in class? Is it an area that they do well in? Are you able to do academic accommodations that are going to help them achieve those scores? But the long and short of it is, if they make a goal that shows some sort of growth, you should encourage that. They should not go down, obviously, and you would hope that they get more than an extra point, but sometimes that's where they're at, and getting one more point is better than no more points. You'll also notice that there's another smiley face over to the right, and that's next to the student action plan. And there are two lines there. You can use other paper, you can use this, you can use some other format, whatever works best for you. But basically that's asking the students, okay, how are you going to achieve your goal? What are you going to do? What can you as a student do in order to be successful? Because so many times everyone thinks, oh, it's just the teacher that needs to change things. Not necessarily, and if the students own their goals, then they're able to come up with some plan as to how they can achieve it. It may be something as simple as, I will come to school and focus during class. I will ask questions during the lessons when I don't understand something. I will attend school on a regular basis. Sometimes attendance is the issue, and that's why the students don't successfully reach their goals. So then if you look at the top part, you'll see that the four aspects of the NWEA for math is broken down: operations and algebraic thinking, numbers and operations, measurement and data, and geometry. Looking across, you'll see that obviously there's two areas that she struggled a bit with because they're in the yellow. Measurement and data, it doesn't look like was really scored very high or poor, as it's in the gray. Green, obviously she understands numbers and operations, and honestly, based off of the curriculum for this year, it should be green because they had just finished learning more about numbers and operations and digging deeper into that. So hopefully when she scores, they scored the test for the NWEA in the spring, her geometry score will go up because I know that's one of the areas they're learning now. Measurement and data would go up, and of course we're hoping that operations and algebraic thinking will increase as well. If we look on the bottom part, where the reading is, you'll notice that in the spring of 2013, she scored 173, And then in the fall, she scored 176. I'm going to make the assumption that she probably read during the summer in order to have an increase. Also, then in winter, she scored a 177. So granted, it didn't show a large increase there. However, there is an increase, and right there is a first bonus in the fact that we're striving to show growth in all of our students. So again, you sit down, you have a conversation, you talk about the projected RIT, you ask them to come up with a goal, and then you can come up with the explanation of, okay, well, what is our growth that we're looking for overall? According to this, the district or the company thinks that we should go up 13 points between fall and spring. How far do I think I'm going to grow each year? Then on the right-hand side, again, you see a student action plan. You can have the kids come up with a plan on how they're going to achieve this growth, and you can write it down, or they can record it, whichever you prefer. On the bottom, just above that, I should say, on the bottom of the goal performances, you'll see the Lexile range. So back in spring, her Lexile range was 15 to 165 Lexile. But then in the fall, it was 69 to 219. And then in the winter, you see that it jumped again to 87 to 237. Again, she suddenly, if you look at the breakdown, 2 of her scores are in the green range. That's great. 2 of them are in the yellow. That's still better than them not being any color whatsoever. So we're definitely working in a progressive fashion to get to where she needs to be.